DaCara Thompson's parents just want her home.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
When I tell you the details about what happened to DaCara Thompson just keep getting darker by the day. It's absolutely chilling. Right now, the biggest mystery is how suspect Go Easy Mendez even managed to convince DaCara to step into his vehicle in the first place.
Still under investigation, it appears that DaCara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male out of Bowie, Maryland.
She had parked in a no parking zone, left her purse inside, and even told her dad she'd be right back. That means she clearly wasn't planning on being gone long. When police showed up at the scene, they found all her belongings still inside her car. Her purse, her credit cards, her debit cards, and even $60 cash sitting there untouched. So why would she willingly go with him? And here's where it gets even more twisted. Why would he bring her back to his own house, where his family lives, kids included? That move makes no sense at all.
Police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
Most people trying to hide shady behavior would use hotels or spots far away from home, so it can't be traced back to them. But no, he brought her into his actual home with multiple people around. What would make him feel that comfortable unless there's something way deeper going on here? And if that wasn't disturbing enough, it's being alleged that police also discovered other women's underwear in his bedroom. Now that makes my skin crawl because it points to something much bigger than just one tragic case. Nothing about this feels random, and the whole situation is straight up unsettling. Are we staring at a possible serial predator here? Did DaCara even know this man before that night, or was she blindsided? And the bigger question, what secrets are the rest of his family keeping locked up? Something just doesn't add up. Now, the case has sparked a whole separate debate online. Some people are pointing out that movements like BLM only seem to make noise when a black life is taken by a white person, but stay silent when the suspect looks different. Folks are saying illegals don't count, that's why they're quiet about DaCara Thompson's death. And as if that wasn't enough, the internet got even messier with wild posts accusing DaCara of selling herself. The nerve of people to push those theories while her family is grieving, it's downright cruel. Here's what we do know. DaCara's father first reported her missing just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd. He told police he had last seen her the night before, on August 22nd. When she didn't return home, he called her, but there was no answer. The only thing he got was a text from her phone that night saying she was going to grab gas and head back soon. But she never made it home. By August 24th, the family themselves started digging. Using location tracking, they followed the last ping from her phone to Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Hyattsville. That's where they spotted her car and immediately called the police. According to relatives, DaCara was the youngest of 5 siblings, and they all had their phones synced through the Find My Phone app. But here's the chilling part. When they checked her location, her phone was already turned off, and the last place it had been active was that same intersection near Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road. Up until just a couple days after DaCara went missing, her family still clung to hope. But deep down, they were terrified. The scariest sign? Her bank account hadn't been touched once. Then came the heartbreaking discovery. On August 31st, around 4:50 p.m., Maryland State Police responded to Route 50 near Annapolis for what looked like a disabled vehicle on a short bridge over the South River. But when troopers looked closer, they spotted a body down the embankment, 30 feet below the bridge. By September 3rd, detectives sat down with DaCara's family and confirmed the worst. She had been identified through the photos her loved ones shared. Reports say she had skull and facial fractures, but her tattoos and jewelry made the identification certain. Now here's where things take a shocking turn. Footage from August 23rd at 3:06 a.m. surfaced. The video shows DaCara leaving her white SUV near Jasmine Terrace, walking down Riggs Road toward University Boulevard in Hyattsville. The camera then caught her stepping into the parking lot of a business, approaching the driver's side of a black GMC Yukon Denali, talking to the driver and then getting into the passenger seat. Authorities quickly traced that vehicle, and guess who it was registered to? None other than Go Easy Mendez of Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland. But this is where the story twists again. When DaCara left with him, she left her purse sitting in her car, parked in front of a fire hydrant. Who does that at 3 in the morning? No phone, no purse, nothing. Just stepping into a stranger's ride. Did she plan to come right back? Was she rushing? Did she feel safe enough around him to leave everything behind? Or was she forced? And let's not ignore that her location tracker was switched off. Did she do that herself? Or did someone else? Detectives weren't about to ignore the clues. On September 3rd, they pulled up to Mendez's home just before 9 p.m. and saw that same black SUV parked out front. They applied for a residential search warrant, and early on September 4th, they returned ready to serve it. But before they even knocked, court documents reveal that they watched a man leave the house and slide right into the driver's seat of that black SUV. Once questioned, Mendez allegedly claimed he had been at the Galaxy nightclub across the street from where DaCara was last seen. The coincidence is almost too wild to believe, like the entire night was playing out right in front of the cameras. After being seen sliding into that black SUV, Mendez told police some wild story, that he was supposed to meet his ex-girlfriend, but never did. But the second they pressed him with more questions, he shut it all down, denied any involvement in DaCara's disappearance, and immediately asked for a lawyer. That alone raised eyebrows. Then came the bombshell. Once police executed the search warrant, they found what they believe was DaCara's blood inside the home. Even worse, they uncovered one of her missing white and pink French-tipped nails, hair, a wig, and other personal evidence, not just in the bedroom, but even in the trash. And it didn't stop there. Investigators also came across multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie scattered around. The scene was straight up disturbing. That's when Hugo Ezed Mendez was arrested and charged with first and second-degree murder in the horrifying death of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. ICE quickly stepped in too, labeling him a criminal illegal alien and announcing that justice would be served for DaCara's family. Authorities believe the timeline points to him killing her inside that bedroom in the early hours of August 23rd before loading her body into the SUV, driving down Route 50 toward Annapolis, and tossing her over the short bridge like she was nothing. Think about how cold-blooded that is, calmly driving with her body in the car, then dumping her over a bridge as if she was disposable. That level of detachment doesn't even feel human, it feels monstrous. But here's the twist. While all this horror was allegedly unfolding, people were inside that very house. They were questioned by police, and one person admitted they lived there with family, including cousins and 2 roommates. A cousin even confessed she was in shock that someone related to her could do something this twisted. But she also revealed that in the last couple of weeks, Mendez was acting differently, distant, odd, and rarely seen around. That change in behavior now looks like a chilling red flag. One cousin even admitted that she told Mendez straight up to confess. During the investigation, her husband, Hernandez Mendez, and another relative were both taken in for questioning. But here's the catch. Hernandez Mendez was the only one who didn't walk free. The very next morning, federal immigration agents stormed the house again, this time hauling her husband into custody. Now, she swears her husband had nothing to do with the crime and claims he fully cooperated with police. She says she can't understand why her cousin's murder case triggered an immigration case against her own man. But that twist alone makes the whole situation look way more tangled than anyone expected. Then came another disturbing detail. One roommate reported hearing DaCara and Hugo having intercourse, followed by a strange grunting sound, like someone wasn't enjoying what was happening. Hours later, that same roommate stepped outside and noticed the black GMC SUV was missing from the driveway. They thought it was odd because Hernandez Mendez doesn't work Saturdays, and that car was usually parked right in front of the house. Meanwhile, 2 other witnesses claimed they didn't hear or see anything that night, explaining that their rooms were on the opposite side of the house from Mendez's. But here's the million-dollar question. Did these people actually hear and see more than they're admitting? Could they be keeping quiet out of loyalty, fear, or maybe even to protect themselves? Because let's be real, The cousin's uneasy comments, the sudden immigration arrest, and the roommate's chilling testimony all paint a picture that feels way too suspicious to ignore. This family might be holding back crucial pieces of the puzzle, and the truth could be hiding in plain sight. Investigators are still piecing it all together, but one thing is clear: Hugo's past is straight up messy, and it paints him like a walking red flag. Long before DaCara's name was even tied to this heartbreaking case, he had already racked up a rap sheet that looked like the playbook of reckless driving. Let's break it down. He wasn't just caught with one DUI, but multiple. Add in an open container charge, cruising around with liquor in the car like he's on some joyride to Vegas. That's not just irresponsible, it shows a repeated pattern of risky, selfish behavior. Then pile on citations for operating a vehicle without due care, ignoring traffic lights, blowing past stop signs, parking wherever he felt like. It's as if he thought the streets were his personal racetrack. Unsafe lane changes. Check driving on a suspended license. Double check. The state literally told him, sit down, and he still said, nah, I'll drive anyway. That type of arrogance is dangerous. And here's another question that makes this all more frustrating. How was he even still roaming around free with that many charges, especially considering his immigration status? It just doesn't make sense. Detectives are now digging into whether DaCara and Hugo actually knew each other before that night, but so many things remain unanswered. Why did DaCara leave her SUV parked in such an obvious tow zone, purse and all, like she was only stepping away for minutes? Did Hugo promise her she'd be right back? Or was she so distracted she didn't realize the danger she was walking into? Did she turn off her location tracker herself? Or did someone else handle that? And are Hugo's family members being fully honest about what they heard that night? Or are they covering something up? And here's the truly chilling part. Locals are whispering that this might not be his first time. Some even believe he could be tied to other missing people, men and women, including a father found dead just 2 days after DaCara's body was discovered. And let's not forget about that disturbing stash of women's underwear and lingerie in his room. Was he collecting those as trophies? If that's true, then this case might only be scratching the surface of something way darker. This whole situation is bone-chilling. I want to hear your thoughts, so make sure you like, share, drop your comments below, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.